What's going on? We got our first installment of the Brian Allen Fishing Tackle Tip Tuesday. It seems like everybody's got a Tackle Tip Tuesday video going now, so I figure I might as well catch on. It's just the nature of the beast, I guess. So let's get right into it. We are transitioning. It is getting cold. We had a good cold snap here down in Texas. I'm in the Gulf Coast area, close to Houston, and most of Texas has felt it. I'm sure most of the South has as well. I know most of the South has. We're getting that transition. We're going from the fall to winter. You're going to start seeing the water temps get below the upper 60s for a lot of the area that I fish, which will be some of the smaller Houston area lakes, including Fayette County Reservoir, Big Sam Rayburn, and this is the time of year I'll actually look forward to fishing Conroe a little bit. You get the pleasure boaters out of the way and get the water to yourself a little more. So let's get right into it. What do I use? What am I using? I'm a winder. I like to fish shallow as much as I can. There's resident 6 shallow fish that are going to be there for you all year round. In the fall, you're going to see the ones that have been set up in the backs of creeks, on the grass flats, the good heavy cover. They're going to be dipping out into that river, up to the creek channels that are close by. So I'm going to probe those areas. I'm going to start off with a chatterbait, super exotic chatterbait, Z-Man jackhammer, Strike King Thunder Cricket, both outstanding options. Try to go with this, I'll go with a 3/8 is where I'm going to start. I like that 6th Sense Divine Swimbait on the back of it. The smaller one, I don't know the numbers. I'm terrible with swimbait number size, 3.25, all that. But I'm throwing this on a Team Daiwa. It's a Tackle Warehouse exclusive rod. It's a 7.3 composite glass rod. Big believer in the glass. Big believer in following the guys that are most successful with these techniques. And you look at Brett Hite, you look at Ayler, you look at Brandon Polinick. These guys put a lot of fish in the boat. I mean, everybody throws a chatterbait now. Everybody's throwing a bladed jig. These guys are really successful, and you can't go wrong with imitating success. So again, I'm very similar setup to most of the guys are using. Gear ratio in the 6s. This is a Daiwa Tatula 100 spool 20-pound test. FC Sniper Sunline, huge Sunline fan. Gear ratios in the 6s. I don't want to fish too fast. I can speed up if I need to, but as these temperatures drop down, I'm going less speed, kills, and more make sure they get a good look at it. Next, another good option to the chatterbait is going to be a flat-sided crankbait. This is the Fritz side from Berkeley. Started playing around with this bait last year, or at the beginning of around January. John Cox did some work with this on Sam Rayburn, and it's a great bait. It's a great little crankbait. Real finessey. It's got those Fusion 19 hooks on it, super sharp. I'm not changing anything on this. Straight out of the package. Throwing this around on a 13 Fishing. This is a Fate Chrome, really inexpensive rod. They've upgraded the model since this one came out. But this is I'm throwing this on 14-pound test fluorocarbon. It's a light bait, so I'm not trying to throw the big line on this. This is like a finesse cranking deal. So it's a medium action 7-foot rod. Gear ratio in the 6s. This is a Lew's TPS 1H, old school, one of the first Lew's that came back out. One of the few Lew's that I still have. This one in that Super Duty 300 is an awesome reel. But yeah, that's a great option to the chatterbait. Following that up, it's jerk and stick time. So the guys up north Matt Allen, Tactical Bassin. I'm a big jerkbait fan. So I'll be throwing this one around quite a bit. This is a Lucky Craft 127 MR. Really good jerkbait. I'll be mixing this one up. I'll be throwing Lucky Craft. I got a couple mega bass. Not many, and I try to save those for tournament days. But the Lucky Craft 127 MR is an outstanding. The 128 is a great bait also. There's also some really good Jackal jerkbaits that I'm a big fan of. I'm throwing these on a Evergreen. Evergreen. This is the 7'1" jerkbait rod, Daiwa Tatula 100. This is where I'm going to drop down my fluorocarbon. I don't like throwing light line unless I have to. And it seems like a jerkbait is one of those baits you really need to drop down in line. So this is about as light as I like to go. This is 12-pound test FC Sniper fluorocarbon. Again, sunline all day long. Next. It might be early for some guys. I love throwing a trap. And this, in my opinion, is one of the finest traps on the market. 6 cents Quake, outstanding. This is that brown eye color. I believe it's an old rattle trap color. I think they came out with this one last year, I want to say. Again, 6 cents. You cannot go wrong with the 6 cents baits. Great hardware. Nothing needs to be changed. Good hooks, paint jobs, color schemes. Local boys from Willis, Texas. Casey Sobzak runs an outstanding outfit, great customer service. You can get it at Tackle Warehouse. Also, you can get it directly from Casey, and a lot of outlets are carrying them. My trap setup is a little different than a lot of people. I like a 7/6 heavy because I'm throwing these in the thickest grass I can find. So I'm going to be burning this through grass. I like a fast reel. I like big line. I like a big rod. And I'm power fishing this. It's a treble hook bait, and it's the nature with the rattle baits. Trap fishing, you're going to lose some fish. It's going to happen. But I'm a big believer in hitting them and winding them, getting them going, getting them to the boat. 18-pound FC Sniper fluorocarbon. Usually throwing 20, but I'll drop down to 18. 7/6 heavy. This is an Arc Lancer. It's a heavy action rod. It's got a good tip to it though. This is the Daiwa Tatula SV. It's got that smaller spool. The 18-pound test is as big as I'll go on this reel. Not bombing it out too much. Working over specific areas. Again, creek channels, grass on creek channels, leading out of the backs of the pockets, secondary points, that type of biz. Now, if I get out deep, and I will get out deep, I'm going to start dragging a little bit. And my go-to drag stuff, I love throwing a football jig. This is an Omega football jig. I like a 3/4 ounce to a 1/2 ounce. Anywhere around there is where I'm staying. Black and blue, you can't go wrong with black and blue. I've got this paired up with a Gambler Stinger. It's a great flipping bait. The color, I'm terrible with Gambler's colors, they got so many. This is like a black with purple. It's got some blue flake. I think it's a real nice pairing with the black and blue jig. Omega jigs. Great jigs, great company, good guys. Got this one. On a 13 Fishing, Concept A. This is the original Concept A. 8-to-1 gear ratio. I'm making long casts. I'm fishing deep. I've got a lot of line out. So I want something I can hit that fish and get him going. I'm going to get him going. It's deep. I want to be picking up line as fast as possible. I'm never fishing this bait with the reel. This is 100% rod fishing. It's a drag. I'm dragging the bait. I'm tickling it through cover. I'm throwing this on a 7/4 heavy Arc Lancer. This is also my frog rod. But this is the time of year where I start getting away from the frog. I still have one rigged up. I'll still on my other frog rod, but I will be. This is when the 7/4 heavy. This one goes 100% to football jigs, and I'll have a few other jig rods as well. 6 cents Divine. Not scrape, but the 6 cents hybrid jig. Yeah, great jig. And then of course, love it or hate it, it's Alabama rig time. So I'll be using this one, and I use this one deep. This is a hog farmer. It's a 3-hook rig. You always got to check your regulations for your states and areas for all that fun stuff. But the hog farmers are great Alabama rigs. Love them. I play around with my jig heads a lot. These are Dirty Jigs, Matt Allen, Swimbait heads on the bottom. So I've got two. I believe these are 3/8 on the bottom, and then my center hook is actually a generic saltwater jig head. Used to fish a lot of saltwater. Lived in Corpus Christi for a couple years, and grew up fishing Baffin Bay and all that fun stuff down there. So yeah, I don't do a lot of wade fishing anymore. I got a boat and back on the deck. So my Alabama rig setup. I prefer the hog farmer. I also got I like that flash mob. That is a great Alabama rig as well. The setup on these, I mean, you can't go wrong with a 6 Cents Divine swim bait. This color has been outstanding. This is that Pro Shad 4.4. I like I'll mix up the sizes too. Low light conditions, colder the water, all this stuff, and I'll play with it constantly. I'll have a couple Alabama rigs on the deck, and I'll have one with some bigger baits on there. I'll have one with some smaller baits. I always try to have two matching ones to go with these bigger, heavier jig heads on the bottom of the 3 rig, and then the back one I'll always try to offset the color. Maybe if I got a natural bait fish pattern on the bottom, maybe going a little gold. This is that Gambler Little Easy. That's a great option. I love throwing those on the Alabama rig. Strike King Caffeine Shad. Swimming Caffeine Shad, Strike King. Great option for your Alabama rig fishing as well. My setup, it's a little heavy because I will vary on this one. This is it's a Swimbait rod, and it also gets a lot of play as my Alabama rig rod. This is a Mega Bass Levante. It's from the original series. They've redone this lineup. I got a great deal on this one. That's why I have a Mega Bass rod. But it's been a great rod. I love this rod. I use this primarily for some glide bait fishing, and the glide baits will absolutely get play this time of year. They've been getting play, and big glide bait fan. I also throw the mag draft on this one a lot too. But this is a 7'11". It's a heavy rod. Doesn't have much tip, but with this type of fishing, I'm hitting fish hard. Treetops, standing timber, stumps, secondary points, creek channel swings, and I want to get them up. I want to get them out of the cover, coming to me. I'm throwing this on a Daiwa Tatula. This is the 300, Tatula 300. It's a 7.3 gear ratio, so 7 rotations for every 1 turn of the handle. It's a little fast. I can slow this down, and it makes me really concentrate on slowing down. This one and that Lew's Super Duty 300 are my go-tos for most of my swim bait fishing and Alabama rig fishing. Again, minimum 20-pound test, FC Sniper Sunline. I go up to 25, quite a bit on this as well. Alabama rig fishing is expensive. I don't want to lose any of this stuff. It's a lot of jig heads, it's a lot of plastic, and the harness itself is not cheap. So, but a hog farmer's real good about putting their stuff on deals. So that's about it. Hope this helps. I'm a tackle junkie. I love talking tackle. So yeah, if you like this type of video and you want to see some more of this, it'll be on my channel. It's also going to be on the Instagram. I'll probably put some of this on Facebook as well. But yeah, so I love talking tackle, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. We're getting closer to tournament season kicking off, and it's a great time of year to be fishing. You get the lakes to yourself pretty much. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day or evening.